We come now to a very short section. I'm dealing with the verses 18 to the end of the chapter in Romans 1. In verse 18, the first thing to notice is that the verse tells us that God's wrath has been revealed, not will be revealed. Of course, there will be a final judgment day, but this verse is not talking about that. It's telling us about something that's already shown to us. It tells us why God's wrath has been shown to us, because people have suppressed the truth. Then verse 19 tells us what that truth is, that what can be known about God is plain to see because God has shown it to them. They've suppressed the plain truth shown to them about God. What is that plain truth? Verse 20 says, the visible creation of the world is a demonstration of the eternal power and some aspects of the nature of that God. Profound wisdom and knowledge to be able to create the universe in which we live, and that consequently people are without an excuse when they suppress that truth. Creation reveals enormous power and wisdom in how things work together. And whatever theories there are in existence today, we've not yet found a viable answer to the origin of life, apart from a creator. Chance and a few billion years produces a human being? Really? Verse 21 says that, so instead of honoring God for who he is, people come up with useless ideas and further darken their hearts. Here's the central point. They exchanged God's glory, the glory of an immortal God, for idols of men and animals. And God gave them up to passions that dishonored them. They dishonored God by creating an idol and giving worship to it as though it were God. And so ended up with a corrupted view of themselves, because mankind is made in the image of God. If you deliberately view God the wrong way, you end up viewing yourself the wrong way, because you're made in the image of God. You end up not understanding your own true nature as men and women made in God's image. And that's the root of unnatural relationships, the lesbianism and the homosexuality spoken of in verse 26 and 27. 3 times it says in verse 24, 26, 28, God gave them up, and then lists a series of sinful behaviors. So what is the answer to the original statement that the wrath of God is revealed here and now? Wherever you see blatant sin as described in verses 29 to 31, homosexual behavior, lesbianism, nastiness, murder, deceit, gossip, criticism of people, insolence, disobedience, ruthless behavior, there's where you see the wrath of God revealed, because he's given them over to the very form of behavior that they have willfully chosen. Verse 32 finally says this: even though people know God's condemnation of such behavior, they not only continue to practice it, but approve of anyone else doing the same thing. It's not hard to see the public approval of that sort of behavior today.